Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Like Oscar Wilde reminding us that the only thing worse than watching a board game review show is not watching a board game review show. This is the Discriminating Gamer. Say, kids, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Legendary Champions, an expansion to Legendary, a Marvel deck-building game from Upper Deck. Legendary Champions from Upper Deck is a brand new expansion to Legendary, a Marvel deck-building game. This centers on a team of superheroes known as the Champions. Now, I must confess, I don't follow the comic books. I'm not terribly familiar with the storyline here, but I love Marvel, a Marvel deck-building game from Upper Deck, Legendary, and I'm super excited to take a look at this expansion. Now, there are several different keywords in this game. For instance, we have Versatile, which we first saw in Legendary Dark City. Essentially, you can use these points for either recruit or attack. So if it says Versatile +2, you can use those 2 recruitment points toward recruiting a hero, or you can use them as 2 attack points toward taking down a villain. There is size changing, which we first saw in Legendary Civil War. Essentially, size changing will reduce the cost of the card if you have played a certain type of card, you know, the technology, the ranged weapons, etc., etc. If it says size changing in that symbol, you play that symbol and you get a reduced cost of 2. But this version also offers sometimes 2 symbols. So if you play those 2 symbols, it will give you a reduced cost of that card, either in recruit or attack, for 4. There's also Demolish. Now, Demolish was first seen in Fear itself to the expansion to Legendary Villains. Essentially, if a card comes out and says Demolish, it's kind of an attack on you. What you do is you reveal the top card of the hero deck, you note its cost, and then all the players or whoever is affected by the Demolish then have to discard a card in their hand with a similar cost. Champions also does feature one brand new keyword. This is cheering crowds. Essentially, if you have bystanders in your victory deck, what you can do is if you play a card that says cheering crowds, you can take a bystander from your victory deck, you return it to the victory pile, you return it to the bystander pile rather, and then you can essentially play a copy of that card. So you play the card once, if it says cheering crowds, you can go ahead and return that bystander, and then you get to play that card again. It's like cloning your own card. Now, this game also boasts 4 new plots. Now, of course, plots are one of my favorite things about Legendary because they're different games. Essentially, you're given different games with the same basic Legendary mechanic. You get different games out of the different plots, and that's one of the reasons why I like the expansions for Legendary so much. This game has, of course, 4 new plots, and they're all pretty cool. The first scheme is Clash of the Monsters Unleashed. Essentially, you're going to create a Monsters Pit deck using the monsters from the Monsters Unleashed villain group, and then you're going to have 10 twist cards. Now, when the twists come out, each player chooses a villain from their victory pile as their gladiator. Then the top card of the Monster Pit enters the city. Each player whose gladiator has a lower printed attack value than that monster, they gain a wound. Now, evil will win when the wound stack or the Monster Pit deck runs out. Second scheme is Hypnotize Every Human. Essentially, there are 8 twists. You put a bystander from the bystander stack above each city space as a face-down 2-attack Hypno-Thrall villain. They don't move. When you fight one, you rescue it as a bystander. You can't fight a villain in a city space that has a Hypno-Villain's Thrall above it. So you got to take that guy out before you can get the actual villain you're going for. On the 7th and 8th twist, each player puts a villain from their victory pile into the escape pile. Evil wins when 8 villains are in the escape pile. The next scheme is still all oxygen on Earth. Essentially, there are 8 twists, and they represent the oxygen level, which starts at 8. Now, with each twist, you stack the twist next to the scheme. The oxygen level decreases by 1. Then you KO each hero from the HQ whose cost is greater than the oxygen level. Now, evil wins when there are 20 non-gray heroes are KO'd. Finally, there's Divide and Conquer. Now, there are 8 twists, you got 7 heroes, and you sort the hero deck by the hero class. Of course, strength, instinct, range, tech, etc., etc. You put these smaller shuffled hero decks beneath the 5 HQ spaces. Whenever an HQ space is empty, you fill it with the top card from the hero deck below that space instead of from the regular hero deck. Now, the first 3 twists, you KO all the heroes in the HQ. The 4 to 8 twists, you KO all the heroes in the decks. And evil wins when all all of the hero decks are gone. So you go by all of the heroes by their class rather than just coming straight out of the HQ. You have two new baddies in this scenario as well, two new evil masterminds. First of all, you have the evil dragon beast Fin Fang Foom. This mastermind, it's got size changing with all of the various icons on it, but he's a 20 to attack, so you're going to need that size changing. He leaves the monsters unleashed, and he will also demolish them. Now, you also have an epic side that's even harder at 24 attack points. The second mastermind is Pagliacci, and he is singing clown, I gather. He is at 9 attack. He always leads the wrecking crew. His master strikes become scheme twists that kind of do the same thing as scheme twists, and he too also has demolish. Now his epic mastermind side is a little bit tougher. He has got 11 attack points. But let's face it, kids, what you're here for are the heroes, the new heroes that this game brings, that this expansion brings to your game of Legendary. Now, first of all, you have Viv Vision. Viv Vision has a lot of really cool cards and interesting abilities, taking advantage of a lot of those new keywords. And her big, powerful card is a 9 asterisk card. Essentially, it's got 5 recruit, and you also have an option here for attack. She's got size changing, which is important, so you can go ahead and decrease that cost to buy her. But also, whenever you recruit a hero that turn, you get +2 attack as well. You've got Totally Awesome Hulk. He too has size changing because he's a 9 asterisk cost, and that will bring down the cost there. He's got 5+ for attack, but you get a +1 attack for each extra card you drew this turn. You've got Nova. Now, I love the old Guardians of the Galaxy with the Nova Core. And here is Nova, and she too has size changing. You're going to need it because she's a 9 asterisk cost. You want to bring that cost down. But for each, she's also versatile. She's got the recruit and the attack. And then for each other card you play this turn that has a recruit icon, you get +1 recruit. For each other card you play this turn that has has an attack icon, you get +1 attack. So this can be very powerful for attack or recruit if you play this card in conjunction with other cards. You've got that cutie Miss Marvel. That's not politically correct. Anyway, she's got a lot of really cool and interesting cards here. Her big, bad, powerful card, is another 9 asterisks with the size changing. But she too is versatile, but it's versatile 4, so you can go ahead and use that attack or recruit in either way with the power of 4. But it's also got cheering crowds, which means you can use this card again if you get rid of a bystander. Finally, you've got Gwenpool. Again, I know nothing about these characters, but apparently Gwenpool is a take on Deadpool. She breaks fourth wall, kind of like Deadpool did in the Deadpool expansion. Kind of does some fun, kooky things like that. A lot of really neat cards there. Her big bad card is a 7, cost of 7. It features a 5 attack, and it also has Demolish each other player. For each player that discards a card this way, they'd get to draw a card. So there's some kind of roundabout helping there with that Demolish keyword in her card as well. So that's kind of a basic overview of the Champions expansion here. Again, it's a small box expansion, so there's not a ton of cards here, but the cards that are here, of course, fit in with this theme of the Champions comic book, which, again, I know very little about. Playing this game is pretty fun. I like the keywords that are involved here. I always like size changing. I think that's fun. Versatile's always very cool. I really like the cheering crowds. I like the cheering crowds because I think it's fun. You can clone a copy of your card by returning, by giving up one of your victory bystanders. By giving that up, you get to play that card again. That's very fun and very handy in this game. So I really enjoy that. Overall, I must confess, I was a little disappointed that was the only new keyword there was. It seemed like, well, we're just grabbing some of these older keywords we've used. I would have liked to have seen a little more innovation here, a little more in the way of new keywords, because to me, keywords are a lot of fun, and a lot of reasons I like to see how they're innovating there. I was disappointed there. The schemes I played, I've enjoyed. The Oxygen one particularly, I thought that one was a gas. Oxygen's a gas. But I really enjoy the schemes. And again, I enjoy how schemes bring a new game to your game here. I think generally the characters were fun and they worked well together, and the way they were used, I enjoyed it. But again, not really knowing too much about the theme, but that's true of a lot of the Marvel games. I haven't read a lot of the Marvel comic books, so I don't know a lot of the storylines in a lot of these games, but a lot of these expansions. But I'm very much attracted to a lot of these expansions, despite that, because of either, again, keywords or plots or characters. I liked Champions as a whole, but it didn't blow me away the way so many of the other expansions have. Now, if you are a Marvel Legendary completist, as I am, you, of course, you're going to pick this up and you don't even care what I'm saying in this video. If you, however, are somebody who just picks and chooses which expansions to get, I don't know that Champions is one you really need. It's fun, it's got some interesting things here, but there are better expansions out there. If you're looking at small box expansions, I tell you right now, get Captain America or Guardians of the Galaxy or Paint the Town Red. There are better small box expansions out there. Even Noir I enjoyed quite a bit. So I'd probably steer you in that direction before I'd say pick this one up. It's good, it's just not amazing. So the recommendation for Champions, Legendary Champions from Upper Deck is try it before you buy it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and ladies and gentlemen, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. That was Oscar Wilde, too, so...
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
Zackman!